If you want to hit your quota by the middle of the year and do close to 300% to your number before the end of the year, I'm excited to introduce my good friend Josh, who did exactly that. Keep watching and enjoy. All right, what's going on? Marcus Chan here, and I am pumped to have Josh Patino here, who's been absolutely crushing in the program. Josh, you mind introducing yourself and sharing who you are and what you do?
Yeah, I'm Josh. I worked with Marcus, I don't know, 6 to 9 months ago, and I started as an account executive, got promoted to being a regional vice president. At the 7th month mark this year, I hit my quota. 11 months later, I am about 60% of the way of doubling that, tripling that. So the last 4 months have really been accelerated, but it's been a wild ride, and obviously Marcus was a big part of that.
Oh man, dude, it's so exciting, right? I love the success that you're having, right? And you're putting the daily work in, right? You're the epitome of the coachable student, which I love. So before you joined the program, what were some things you were struggling with that you wanted to get help on?
Yeah, so again, at the beginning, I was just so new, and so I just didn't have any framework of like a deal process. How do you run a deal? How do you run next steps? What am I trying to do here? And I think a big part of it is this is how I make a living. And so there's a lot of anxiety and stress around, am I going to get paid, right? And am I going to be able to take care of my family? And I think that's completely evolved over the last year to, as you and I were just talking about, to more of a kind of neutral homeostasis. And now we're focusing on how do I live well? How do I take care of me? And then really the mindset focus to what am I actually doing as a salesperson? And I just saw this quote the other day on LinkedIn that I thought resonated well as a good reminder. It's often the definition is you're a seller, you're selling something. The idea of being a problem solver and helping somebody else, I think is more fitting. And I think that's naturally who I am, is how can I help? How can I problem solve? I love playing chess as a kid and solving those types of problems. Anyway, don't want to go too deep, but that's a little bit about me.
I love that breakdown, right? Because you're right, man. Ultimately, to master sell is to serve at the highest level. And that's ultimately what we do, right? When you believe in your solution. So when you were looking to get some help and you're looking at the program, why did you choose our program to begin with, or to specifically?
Yeah. So I had worked with another coach that was hyper successful as well. And I just gained confidence, and I just kind of opened my eyes to the possibility that I could achieve in sales, all the potential there is. And I was looking around, there was a lot of different sales coaches. I'd say even a year later, there's even more sales coaches. It seems like everybody has.
Everyone's a coach now.
Everybody's a coach now. But one thing that really impressed me about you, Marcus, to be honest, I was very hesitant, very skeptical. And you sent an email, you sent a text right after I signed up for a call. And then you sent this information to read. And it was about 15 minutes long. And I remember I was at the beach and I was just listening to all these testimonials. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And really, I think that's what ultimately got me to move forward and to choose the Marcus Chan method, if you will. But it was because of all of these testimonials. Like, you can't fake all those people having that much success. And then when I got in the program, it was evident that there was a solid plan in place. There was a process. And for me, that's what I needed. I needed a step-by-step guide, kind of a how-to. But that's why I ended up choosing it was because of all the success that other people had and that were in my same shoes. Had just switched into software, taking a new job, and how were they adapting? And obviously, when you hear things like in the first month, the program paid for itself. And the whole time I'm thinking, man, this program's really expensive. I'm really gonna have to sell my wife on this. And then after speaking with you and seeing the testimonials, I just felt like this is too good of an opportunity to pass up. And I can't remember, Marcus, how quick it was, but remember our first month together, I had like 3 deals close. The first week I had 3 deals close. So obviously there were some things before, but it kind of helped move things along. So that's why I chose to work with you in your program.
I love it, man. I appreciate that. Cool part is, like, even though you were like a little scared, you took action, you joined the program, and you're like, I could tell you're like, I'm gonna get my money back ASAP. Like, you were like, first call, boom, like, here's my situation, here's the deal, here's what I'm stuck at, what do I do? I'm like, cool, man, let's do this. And I think, if I remember right, like, I think your first month, it was like, you made like over like 22, 23K in commissions that first month. You were like, all right, let's keep going, right? And that's pretty killer, right? Because you leverage the program exactly how you should leverage it, which I absolutely love. And obviously, you've had some pretty cool results. When you kind of think about all the results you've had, whether it's from the money you made to even just your crushing quota quota, etc. Those are all cool, but for you, what's been probably the proudest outcome when you look at everything, when you take a step back?
I think the proudest outcome is proving to myself that I could do it. For me, I was a college coach, well established in my coaching career, not sales coach, coaching career. But I'd been doing that for a decade. I had educated myself. I had climbed to some of the highest levels. Then I totally switched, jumped in with 2 feet, had a lot of doubt, had a lot of imposter syndrome, had a lot of fear. I have 3 kids and trying to balance work and life. And part of the reason I took a remote sales job was to have more time with my family and to see more of myself where I am today. Like, my favorite words from my wife are, "I'm so proud of you. Like, I can't believe that you've done this," you know? And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would love to do what I've done and think that they can't. And for me, I'm living proof that it can happen. So that's like my proudest moment. I guess I'd make a plug for everyone else out there. You can. And Marcus, you made a comment in one of the coaching before we actually had our conversation. I think it was in that same video, but you said, obviously, this is up to you. However much work you put in is what you get out of it. And I think that's applicable everywhere in life. But for me, it was like, I have to do this program after hours, early in the morning, late at night. And I have to like study and practice and implement these things on my own and work with you and your coaching. But it wasn't something that was like, I could mix into my day. So it was extra. I also think there are people that probably wouldn't handle that as well, right? Or want more of it that is like, here, we're going to give it to you. That's just, it's not how it works. And I think, again, the proof is in the pudding. So for me, the biggest accomplishment is how far I've come today, how I've developed as a salesperson, as a human being, and what I can focus on today.
Dude, that's powerful, right? And, I love it, right? This is why I love what I do, because I talked to a lot of great students just like yourself, where it's like, they have these really cool, like kind of like external benefits of money and quota, whatever. But the biggest thing is stuff like this, right? Like who they get to become. And I think it's really, really powerful. So if you think back to like, if you had not joined the program, where do you think you'd be right now if you hadn't joined?
It's a great question. I think I think at one point I probably would have hired somebody, but I think it would have taken a lot longer. And I don't know that I would have had the instant success. And I think one of the most powerful parts of your program were the Wednesday calls. And I learned really quickly that if I didn't get my questions submitted, that I would be sitting for a long time. So I probably monopolized the first probably 6 weeks by getting my questions in first and had a lot of them. But that was what I needed. I needed that one-on-one coaching. I needed feedback from others in the group. I needed to know how to strategize. I think you and I even messaged on a couple of them directly, just offline, which really helped me kind of see the deal differently and how to interact. That for me was pivotal during that timeline, because I went from June 30th, June 29th, I didn't have anything closed. My quota was just under $1 million. And by the end of the year, I had closed and hit my quota. So there was a lot that was done in Q3 and Q4. And you and I started working together in Q3 of last year. So it really propelled my success. That propelled my 2022 success, going into the year confident and having all of this as a foundation to build and grow. And I mean, I think you and I are still learning, still developing, still growing.
Dude, I love that, man. That's powerful. So if there was someone out there that was, watching this, they're on the fence about booking a call or working with us, what would you tell someone that's on the fence?
For someone that's on the fence, say, what is it that you're wanting? Where do you want to be? And then if you make a little map for yourself backwards, what are the steps that you need to take to get there? And then I'd say, if you want to fast track that, do the program, hire a coach. And I'm a coach by trade. It's just who I am. I coach my kids soccer today as well. I just haven't got rid of it. And the fastest way to improve is through accountability, number one, but to have someone laser focused on you. And unfortunately, every VP of sales out there, every sales manager is not managing just one person. They're managing several. And so having someone that can work with you in your specific environment with your unique deals, because everyone is different, will accelerate your success much faster than anything else. And you can't do it by yourself. You need someone to bounce ideas off. You need someone to strategize with. You need someone to challenge your thinking. So that's what I would say to that person is, if you want to fast track it, get a coach, get with Marcus.
You're the best, man. I appreciate you. Anything else you want to share?
That's it. No, thanks.
Cool. If you want results like Josh, in which you want to hit your number by the middle of the year and do almost 300% to your target by the end of the year, so you can buy your dream home, create the life that you want, have bulletproof sales confidence, go click the link below to book a time on my team's calendar so we can help you do the same as well. Thank you so much for watching.